folks, welcome in 7 Rivers Racing on KQEG TV. I'm Dan Dyker, coming off of a big week of racing. I didn't get a chance to go to the dirt track last Friday night, but my daughter graduated high school, so I gotta say congratulations to Jenna Dyker. Dirt track action featured the Liquid Nitro 600 Series mods. Heard it was quite the long show, but they got it in with 29 of them. And we're going to give you the results here in just a couple of moments. Also, Crosse Speedway had a big night as well. Buck night, so almost 4,000 people out there devouring food and watching some fantastic racing action, which we're going to show you here in a couple of minutes. Second segment of today's show, 35 children made boxcar race cars, and we're going to show you all those races, which we thought would be kind of fitting, as I don't remember having that many kids make that many boxcars in the past. And third segment today, we're going to talk with Chris Loberg from the Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Looking at results from last Friday night on the dirt track with a huge crowd in attendance, USRA Modifieds. The race was won by Brad Waits. USRA B-Mods was won by defending track champion Jacob Leese. That's his second on the year. 600 Mod Touring Series, former MTS track champion Don Warner came out in style, fought his way through attrition and 29 600 mods to get that feature race win. Jeff Brower won the Minnesota Super Stocks. Tim Johnson, his third straight stock feature win on the season in the books. Bobby Ford Jr. won the Pure Stocks. The A-Mini mods, they run the little Lightning Speedway inside the 3/8 mile. Zach Braun won that feature race, and Braden Brower won the B-Mods. Coming up Friday night, 7 o'clock, Mississippi Thunder Speedway. All the 6 o'clock races are the A and B Mini Mods. 7 o'clock, the 3/8 mile track opens up, and we'll get some great racing underway. Looks like the weather forecast will be simply outstanding for another big show. Make sure you hit MississippiThunder.com for more information and details on the dirt track. To the Crosse Speedway we go. It was Buck night, and we're going to start things off with this late model feature. It was 4 cars for about 6 laps, nose to tail, and you see him right there being led around by Steve Carlson. Now, joining that fray was Brad Powell, Ty Majeski, and Mike Kennecke. Now, unfortunately, with a lap to go, Ty Majeski, who's owned the Crosse Speedway last year, a couple of feature wins, won 3 to 5 races at Oktoberfest. You'll see here he tucks in behind Powell. He's going to start to see his gauges get higher and higher and higher. Right there with 2 turns to go, he had to back off the race, which was a nice job because he saved the motor. But back up front, Steve Carlson saved the win, as Brad Powell was chopping at the bit right there to walk away with the win. So Steve gets his first win of 2014, and as would expect, Mike Kennecke finishes with 3rd place. He's got a 1st and a 3rd so far this year. And at Ty Majeski, well, he saved the motor, which is going to be the best thing to do because now we can bring it back out to the Crosse Speedway. Matt Henderson finished 4th, and Sean Path finished 5th. To the sportsman we go, and technicality rules at the Crosse Speedway. First time out this year for Tony Leese. You see that bright number 70 brought out there, and after taking this huge chain of cars around the track several times, after he did get the win, he went to get it weighed, and unfortunately for Tony Leese, TL Speed, it was a little bit, I think it was too light, failing the post-race inspection. That gave the win to Jimmy Crackcorn Gilster, who was right on his tail, as these 3 went nose to tail for the last couple of laps. Greg Scheck, who won the feature week race number 1, ended up moving up a spot, so he was credited for finishing 2nd. Steve Bachman 3rd, Jamie Dumber took 4th, and Nick Clements rounded out the top 5. As you see, Tony Leese get a little bit slippery right there. Scheck got a little bit slippery right there, and Leese ended up pulling away the race, but again, he failed the post-race inspection, and we hope to see Tony Leese back on the racetrack. So Greg Scheck still holding the point standings. Steve Bachman has been right there 1 and 2 with Scheck so far this race season. To the action track, quarter mile we go, and it wasn't a more this time. Very interesting race right here. Jason Bolster, who always somehow finds his way to the front of the pack, had to chase down Jordan Myers lap after lap after lap, and a lap car right here. Bolster took advantage of. He went to the inside. Myers just lost the back end with a white flag to go, gave Bolster enough room to pick up about a 2-car lead. And the newly painted 8-ball of Jason Bolsters, as you'll see, he'll scream around Steve Roosh, will pick up his first feature win of a caution-filled feature. Jordan Myers took 2nd. Andy Moore will take 3rd in that feature. So a nice night of racing for the Thunderstocks. Also, one of the coolest classes by far at the Speedway, the Outlaws. They were back for the first time this year. run what you brung. It's the old Rays division. It doesn't matter what you have. And you can see Jerry Ellsworth bringing out an old Camaro. You see Cole Schulze in Fat Phyllis. That's a modified late model something or another. And the credit on this night's going to go to Wayne Smith. He had the clean sweep, and he's just got a chopped off modified as Wayne Smith has already hit this corner. He's already up in turns 1 and 2. He was so fast that night. And the Bounty Hunter gets the first 2014 feature win. Jerry Ellsworth took second. Fast time qualifier Cole Schulze rounded out the top 3. You can expect to see those 3 back again. Steve Roosh and wife Melissa Roosh battled door to door. It's nice to see both of them get their cars in. And we do expect a lot more of those style cars coming up here as the season progresses. One more feature to go. Street Stocks, brand new class in 2014. These are V6 caliber cars. First race ever for that young lady down there in that station wagon. Took a while to get things going, but once they were powering things around, John Aaron the Madman. You remember that name from the Hornet class? He drives the gray, whatever that thing is, 57. He came out and did this one in style. He won the heat race, and with a lap to go, he got through some lap traffic, and he picked up the first race win on the season, just hugging that inside rail. He gets around Dan Rosick. Dan and Kyle Rosick both battled it out for quite some time, but in the end, it was Dan Rosick taking second, and Hornet driver Taylor Dobbs finishing third. And for Dan Rosick, he's had quite the season at the Speedway so far. Picked up the feature race win of the Hornet last week, driving for John Radke in the 7R. Takes second this week in the street stocks. And with the Hornets coming back out this coming weekend, he may be the one to watch, as Radke and Rosick have now formed R&R Racing and are really building up that stable of race cars. Coming up this Saturday night at the La Crosse Speedway, this is going to be a good one. You want to talk about points battles and how they shape up early in the year? This is going to be one of those nights we have twin 20-lap features for the NASCAR late models. Be interesting. If you win both of those, your point standings could be going through the roof. Have a couple of different winners that haven't won yet so far, and you can really see things getting tightened up atop the point standings. Also, Sportsman Thunder Stocks, the Hornets will be back out again. Check out lacrossespeedway.com there for more information. Also, find them at LAX Speedway on Twitter. There is your weekly recap. Coming up next, we're going to talk box cars and a whole bunch of them next on 7 Rivers Racing.
Get ready for the Thunder.
The Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Your Friday night racing destination.
Every Friday night.
Super stocks, modified.
600 mods.
Pure stocks, street stocks, B-mods.
It's racing excitement, dirt track style. Tickets $12 for adults, $10 for seniors. Students free with an ID. And this year, kids 17 and under free with an adult admission. Friday night racing starts at 7.
Bring on the Thunder.
Dirt track style at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Highway 35 just north of Fountain City.
Some of the best moments in life happen at home. American Standard Heating and Air works smarter to make them all more comfortable.
For a limited time, save over $600 on select American Standard systems. Call now for details.
Holman American Legion Post 284. It's all about veterans' rights, quality of life. The Legion belongs to the veterans it serves. The American Legion supports Holman High School sports and local NASCAR racing. Did you know the Legion is open to the public? Stop by for a cold one. Tuesday lunch is a home-cooked meal. Supper is Buck Burgers. Thursday, it's tacos. They can be the place for your wedding reception or meeting. Holman American Legion. It's for veterans and for the people of Holman.
At Cousin Subs, we never settle for good. We always strive for better. Since 1972, we've been creating our signature Deli Fresh subs. We start with fresh bread that's baked every day. Then we freshly chop vegetables and slice the meat daily. It's how we do it and always have. Why? Because you deserve better.
Hi, folks. Welcome back in 7 Rivers Racing, KQE GTV. I'm Dan Dyker. You know, through the years, I've been at La Crosse. We've watched the numbers of boxcar competitors grow, and that's the kids' races. And I cannot believe what these kids are doing. They're taking any kind of a size box, cutting 2 armholes in them and a hole for the head, and they're painting them up. Now they're even vinyling these box cars to look like their favorite Crosse Speedway drivers, favorite NASCAR drivers, nationwide drivers, even have had some IndyCar replicas at the Speedway. So we thought what we'd do this segment here is we're going to take you back to the Speedway. You'll be able to hear me announce all of these races right here. Greg Oliver was the flagman, doing a great job. And we had so many kids, I think there were 35, that we thought we would dedicate the entire segment to what they did, averaging 3 years old to 13 years old. And we're going to run the video right now and let you see what it's looked like to race on a shorter track in a boxcar.
Flag racing with a 5+. Trying to figure out the track configurations. Been mowed down by kids. That young lady's got herself on the move. Currently being led by Martin Wrestler. All right, now we're going to get a stop on the go-go juice. The 18 of Devin Lee pulls out first. Here's the white flag. 4 cars to the dash. It's Wrestler and Lee. Cut through the middle. Checkered flag is out, and your race winner, Amelia Pounds. We count down in 3, 2. Green flag, 5+ racing. 0-3 lost where he was going. Garbers takes advantage in the 80s. Thompson's in, Garbers is in. 2 of them missed the pit stop. We'll have to determine a winner here since some missed the pit stop. Here comes the checkered flag, and we'll get an official race winner. Recognize some of these youngsters. Last race instructions, flagman Greg Oliver. 35 kids. Wow, that's outstanding. Here we go. Help me out, fans. Get them going in 3, 2. We're green flag racing. Newman gets a good jump on the flag. He's just pulling away from the pack. Benson's got some suspension problems. Here come the pit stops. Everyone's got to go around, get a splash of the go-go juice. And here they come. Newman with the first one out. He'll take the white flag. 2 left turns in the first 3. Remember the big spell in his face. Here comes your race winner, Ryan Noodleman. Little paint trade's going on right there between the competitors right at the end. Instructions. Here we go. Nice and loud one more time, race fans. Let's get them going in 3, 2. Green flag racing. Matthew Kerner in the 34 got a nice jump, as did Caleb Preen in the 20. Oh, one down. Newman to the outside, side-by-side racing for the top spot with Preen and the 34 of Cooterer. Now it's pit stop time. Now it gets important. Feel like I'm in a Halloween parade for some reason. 34, Matthew Cooterer is the first one out. He collides with a competitor, but Newman gets by. In the Kyle Busch 18, he'll take the white flag, but here comes the 34, Cooterer. Cooterer takes him into the inside. Newman too wide. On to turn 4 to take the checkered flag. Your race winner, Matthew Cooterer.
Now that was cool. 35 kids running around, taking pit stops. Mom and dad sitting there in the wall. Some of the pit stop officials were the actual parents of some of these kids. And I tell you what, look at the schedule at CrosseSpeedway.com, as we're going to have, I think, 1 or 2 more kids boxcar races coming up. So if you've made a box, kids, save that. And if you haven't, take a look at this show and wait till it goes up on YouTube, and then really take a look at what these kids do to these cars. And you can cut out wheels and fins and the whole shebang. We don't care. There are really no rules when it comes to building a kid's boxcar. And again, that'll be coming up again later this year. When we return, we're going to talk a little dirt. We're going to get slideaways with a new AMOD driver next on 7 Rivers Racing.
We're here when the sun rises. And when the bread rises too. And we're here slicing a deli fresh every day. And every morning, we're chopping it all up. Why do we put so much effort into making it fresh? Because you deserve better.
Holman American Legion Post 284. It's all about veterans' rights, quality of life. The Legion belongs to the veterans it serves. The American Legion supports Holman High School sports and local NASCAR racing. Did you know the Legion is open to the public? Stop by for a cold one. Tuesday lunch is a home-cooked meal. Supper is Buck Burgers. Thursday, it's tacos. They can be the place for your wedding reception or meeting. Holman American Legion. It's for veterans and for the people of Holman.
Some of the best moments in life happen at home. American Standard Heating and Air works smarter to make them all more comfortable.
For a limited time, save over $600 on select American Standard systems. Call now for details.
Get ready for the Thunder!
The Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Your Friday night racing destination.
Every Friday night.
Super stocks, modified,
600 mods.
pure stocks, street stocks, B-mods.
It's racing excitement, dirt track style. Tickets $12 for adults, $10 for seniors. Students free with an ID. And this year, kids 17 and under free with an adult admission. Friday night racing starts at 7.
Bring on the Thunder!
Dirt track style at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Highway 35 just north of Fountain City.
Hi, folks. Welcome in. 7 Rivers Racing, KQE GTV. I'm Dan Dyker. Did a lot of shows here at the Mississippi Thunder Car Show at Sugarloaf Ford in Winona this year. And I wanted to try to get as many different classes of drivers as we could on over the next couple of weeks. And one of those drivers I really got to know over the past couple of years is Racing Family. And this is one of those. Chris Loberg would be joining us here on the program. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
You bet. Thanks.
Chris and I had a nice chat in the pit stall last year. One of those times I actually got there early enough where I could roam through the pits because I'm coming from radio right to the racetrack. And a very interesting story with the Loberg Racing Family.
Yeah, well, I'm a pavement racer. I've been racing pavement cars for about 15 years. And last year was my first year driving a dirt car. I decided to have, I think, a midlife crisis, and we bought ourselves a dirt modified. We didn't start at the bottom, we started at the top, and I had a ball. I am absolutely glad that I purchased a dirt modified to race at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. I've had a lot of fun with it.
Now, there had to have been two concerns heading into that right off the bat. Number one, you're not on asphalt anymore. And number two, you're running with the big guns.
It's a little humbling when you look at your lineup, and your lineup says Rodney Sanders, Jason Crone, Brad Waits, Josh Angst, and whoever else, and me. And it's like I've been watching these people from the grandstand, and I'm lined up with them.
Right.
It's very, very, very humbling.
And those names that he just rattled off are Touring Series champions, track champions, $1 million winners. So that was some name dropping right there.
Yep. I don't know. We just decided it's closer to home. Instead of traveling 3 to 10 hours to get to a pavement race, we decided to just travel an hour from home. Immediately, right off the bat, we've had people. The Hofer Racing team has been beyond comprehension how much they've helped us. They helped very, very, very much as far as getting that car dialed in for me. This year, well, we've added to the stable a little bit. We got my 15-year-old daughter going to be driving a pure stock too as well at Fountain City, and she's run a mini mod last year and she did pretty good, so we're going to take a step up.
You mentioned that you have a long history in asphalt racing, and you dove in full force last year into dirt racing.
Yeah.
Did you find that any of your 15-year skills from the asphalt racing were able to transfer over to the dirt world, or was it just a completely or was it just a completely different game for you?
There is absolutely nothing car to car that I can take from the pavement to the dirt. The only thing that I can take from the pavement to the dirt is hold a line, drive your line, and be smooth and don't drive all over the place. And just finish the laps. That's the way I learned last year. I finished, I think, 99% of my laps last year, and that's how you're going to learn how to drive this. Nothing else I can take from the pavement to the dirt. Nothing.
So finishing almost all those laps, you had to have met and exceeded goals you had to set yourself last year.
I didn't really have any goals set except to just finish.
And not wreck.
Not wreck. Not wreck. No, I've never really been a wrecker or roughhouser or anything like that. Always been smooth. People have called me David Pearson on the pavement because eventually I show up at the finish when there's about 3 or 4 laps to go and go grab that thing, you know. This year, I just wanted to finish my laps and not ruffle any feathers.
Right.
You know, if I'm crashing, I'm not going to learn anything.
So now this year's going to be kind of interesting off the racetrack. Let's go into the pits because you have to work on what you have. Your daughter's got to work on what she has. And you'd like to see...
My pit guy also has a pure stock.
So now...
3 of them.
Who works on whose car and who watches who race? How does that work?
I work on all 3 of them. I take care of all 3 of them. It gets to be a lot. Elizabeth does an outstanding job, you know, shining, making sure stuff is clean and what I tell her to do. And my buddy Joe Warling is going to start with the pure stock, and he's never turned a lap on a track ever.
Oh, wow.
And he decided to buy a pure stock last year. So I've got 3 of them that I've got to put together. So
I think when you're doing your radio thing, don't even expect to have him on this year because you're never going to find him.
Yeah. It's going to be a busy year. You know,
Chris, you had mentioned that the Hofer team, you had called them out saying they were so helpful and they were so open.
Yep.
What was your feeling from the rest of the competitors? We were talking to Lance Hofer about how competitive the A-modified division is. Were the rest of the drivers accepting to you as a former asphalt driver, but a first-time dirt driver? Did they welcome you with open arms?
You know, the best thing that I've had happen to me was how I was treated by Josh Angst and his dad Dave. Boy, there's a whole list of them. Bob Salmon, Bob Tim, the track owner, right down the line, Hank Rollinger. They've all kind of come over, Brad Waits too. They've all kind of came over and gave me little tidbits here and there on how to drive and what to do, and I feel like I'm being tutored by some of the best in the country.
And what a better way to do it than at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway, because I tell you, you talk about family, it's not only on the racetrack, you see it in the grandstands, you see it in the pits. And one of the reasons, I think I can attest for Dan Bailey as well, one of the reasons we love coming back to Rivers Friday night, because it's such a family atmosphere as soon as you walk in the gate and as soon as you leave. And would encourage anybody watching the show that maybe shies away from going into the pits, get in there and meet these guys. They're as normal as well, maybe not me, because no, there's no telling what happens.
No one's normal like him.
But meet these guys and get in their ear. They want you to come ask questions. How do you set a car up? How do you set camber? How do you do this? You know, that's the best way to be a part of a racing family, is just go down and ask questions. And I'll never see these guys turn anybody away for answering a question or even signing an autograph. Remember to see Chris Loberg this year. His daughter Elizabeth is going to be being out as well. And go down to the pits, meet both of them, and say hi to them. You saw it right here on 7 Rivers Racing here in KQEG TV.